The U.S. is accusing Vladimir Putin of using food as a weapon after his forces attacked a key port used to get desperately needed grain to the world. There was worldwide condemnation of the Russian missile strikes on the Black Sea port of Odesa, just one day after Russia signed a UN-brokered agreement to allow grain ships to begin leaving. Firefighters battled the flames, dousing ships with water. Russia first denied it hit the port, then admitted it did, claiming it hit military targets. This Ukrainian parliament member says responsibility for getting Ukrainian grain to the world now rests with Vladimir Putin.
Are they really willing to deblocate the Ukrainian seaports to let us, Ukraine, export more than 20 million tons of grain?
The attacks not only cast doubt on the agreement between Russia and Ukraine, but further threaten grain exports and global food supply at a time when the world needs Ukrainian wheat. Ukraine produces enough grain yearly to feed 400 million people, but last year's harvest is stuck in silos, and there are fears that if it's not shipped out soon, this year's crop will be ruined because there's no place to store it. U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Bridget Brink in a tweet called the Russian attack outrageous and said the Kremlin continues to weaponize food. The UN says over 800 million people were affected by hunger in some way last year. And David Beasley of the World Food Program says this year an estimated 285 million people face starvation.
But we're facing an unprecedented crisis right now. And if we don't deal with it strategically, effectively, and timely, you're going to have mass famine, you're going to have destabilization of dozens of nations, and you're going to have mass migration. This is not hyperbole, this is reality.
In East Africa, millions of lives are at risk. CBN's Ephraim Graham traveled to the region to see World Vision aid distributed to needy people.
I've never seen people in such dire and desperate straits, to literally have not eaten for days, to be reliant upon a food distribution to get food. But at the same time, those people who received are greeted by people who didn't receive. And they then cook and not only feed their families, but share.
CBN's Operation Blessing is providing food for those in need as a deadly drought is taking its toll in Kenya, with families facing starvation because their crops and livestock are dying. Hurd, CBN News.